Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful night. We are doing another current events live stream where we discuss some of the current things going on in Hollywood and maybe even a little couple things going on in my own hometown. So, with that, we are going to kick off what exactly is going on with this Onward movie. Right now, there is an active boycott uh, going on of the movie because of the announced open LGBTQ character in the movie. Now, honestly, I have no problem with LGBTQ representation in movies. However, I do hope that it is not or it is not done in movies where it is preachy or where it is in a movie that is for kids, because kids aren't ready to process that stuff yet. Now, the in this case, it falls on parents who are mothers and whatnot. How you doing, Craig? Good to see you. And they have called for the open boycott. So I'm going to pull up the article from Bounding into Comics. For me, I am unable to do screen sharing. Now, let's see here. But while I'm waiting for that sort of stuff to finish loading, let's see here. Palpatine, Retcon, Academia, some bag. Let's see here. There it is. Boycott launched against it. Now let's get into this. And of course my phone is being a prick right now. There we go. So a boycott is launched against Disney's Onward after it was revealed that How you doing, Rosetta? Happy? Good to see you guys and gals. So a boycott has been launched against Disney's Onward after it was revealed in the film would introduce the first Pixar animated LGBTQ character. The boycott was launched by 1 Million Moms. After it was revealed that the character Officer Spectre would be an LGBTQ character, would reference she's a member of it in the dialogue of the film. And it goes on to talking more about it. Now, the boycott by 1 Million Moms explains this is just the latest instance of numerous attempts by Disney to indoctrinate children with the LGBTQ agenda discreetly and now more overtly. Focus positive. Orange right now, things could be so much worse. Indeed, they could. They claim... Oh, wait, hold on. They point to Finding Dory, which features a lesbian couple in a scene, the live-action remake of Beauty and the Beast, with a brief implication that LeFou was gay, and Toy Story 4 that features two moms dropping off their child at school and then picking them back up. Well, I haven't seen Toy Story 4. I have seen Finding Dory. A while ago I saw it, so I wouldn't have noticed that. And Beauty and the Beast live action, Yeah, it does kind of give off the implication that LeFou is in fact gay. But if you ask me, he was just kind of a loyal devotee to Gaston. But that's just my whole thing. They claim these scenes are subtle in order to desensitize children, but now Disney has traded its subtlety for intentionality. The boycott and petition adds Disney has decided to be politically correct instead of providing family-friendly programming. Disney should stick to entertaining, not pushing an agenda. It then states, please share this with your friends and family to make sure that they are aware of the gay character in Onward and not blindsided by it. As moms, we all want to know when Disney is attempting to desensitize our children by normalizing the LGBTQ lifestyle. Now, there, you see, folks, it is pretty loaded. I mean, I agree that they shouldn't be pushing the agenda, but some of this is, or some of what they are saying is kind of aggressively loaded. You see, like I said, I have no problem with the LGBTQ movement or lifestyles, except that I don't want them pushed on children at a young age. However, the people who are pushing this seems to be very much against it in practice and as a whole. Finally, the call to boycott encourages people to sign the petition that will be sent to Disney's CEO, the new CEO, Bob Chapek. Sign our petition to Disney CEO Bob Chapek stating that your family will not watch the film Onward since it includes an openly gay character, goes against your beliefs and values. The message that will be sent to Bob Chapek reads, I do not agree with LGBTQ agenda you are pushing on families in the upcoming movie Onward. My family and I will not watch this film. Disney has left conservative and Christian families no other choice but to avoid Onward since it goes against our beliefs and values. So this 1 million moms thing is more of a really Christian and therefore very religious organization. And you know what? That's fine. I mean, they are allowed to do and say whatever they want as long as it doesn't violate the law, obviously. But I would not sign this petition because, I mean, while I do support that if or pushing agendas on kids is wrong, I do not agree with the overall sentiment of the message that they are pushing. Now, it is okay to have LGBTQ representation. Do it right, do it subtly, and don't make it such a big deal that it is, well, drowning out the story, you know? As for the petition going to Bob Chapek, I think, you know what, it would be a good test for him. Now, like I said, I do not agree with the whole banning of LGBTQ representation in films. But when it comes to movies that are for kids specifically, yes, I do not believe that it is up to Disney to indoctrinate or educate children of the alternative sexual preferences of people in their movies. Let's see here. I'm also getting a couple messages. Yeah. Now, I saw Disney a few weeks ago, and one of the characters on the show said, "I'm proud to have a woke dad like you. Why can't more boys be woke?" Oh, dear Lord. That is starting to get absolutely ridiculous if that is indeed going on, Happy. I mean, even the Shazam movie had a small little take on the whole get woke thing because, I mean, I just recently watched it, the Shazam movie from DCEU, and it's like, or when he goes after the woman who's supposedly getting mugged, but she defended herself, he's like, yeah, so get woke, get woke, bro, and whatnot. And it's like, oh, jeez, man, please leave that shit out of it. But you know what? There's nothing wrong with a woman defending themselves either. Now, moving on to the Tim Miller whining stuff. This also comes from Bounding into Comics. I'm not going to go through the article. I'm just going to give you an oversight. Or an overlook and whatnot. I did a video on it that was released earlier. But basically, Tim Miller is unable to accept the responsibility of his box office failure. Let kids be exactly Soul Assassin. Oh my gosh, people. Soul Assassin just put it perfectly here, man. Let kids be kids and enjoy their childhood without wokeness getting involved. Indeed. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. Now, he basically blames the get woke, go broke sentiment, basically saying that that did lend some difficulties and people had a problem with 3 women leading in the film. And it's like, we didn't have a problem because they were women. We had a problem because your movie was very disparaging towards men. You didn't do it in a balanced manner like the other 2 previous Terminator movies, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2, have done. You didn't. I mean, even Terminator 3 had a balance in it. I mean, Kate Brewster, she required help, yes, but she also was a strong female character. Now, even though the movie was not that well done and whatnot, it still portrayed it in a balanced manner. Where Tim Miller's frickin' politically charged Terminator Dark Fate did not. I could go over all the things wrong with Terminator Dark Fate, folks. I mean, and how it is utterly, or how they were utterly hypocritical when it came to some of the stuff that they did and how they did their movies. I mean, they said early on in interviews, I mean, this movie was political, folks. You could tell just by where they ended up, how they were detained at the border, and all of that stuff. Fun fact, Miller and Cameron and even Schwarzenegger came out very leftist, and they all do not like Trump's racist border walls, air quotes, and whatnot. And they even did interviews stating that this movie would address the illegal immigration stuff that goes on in our country. And so they did. And here's the hypocritical part, folks. All those scenes that were shot in Mexico were not shot in Mexico. They were shot in Spain. Oh, and the reason why? Because they didn't or want to be endangered by the cartels in Mexico. So let that sink in, folks. They don't think that there's a problem at the border, yet they won't shoot in the country that they say there's no problem with, but or because it happens to be dangerous down there. Bit contradictory, don't you think? So, yeah, he then says, or this guy, oh my gosh, I'm actually going to pull up the next part because what they said then, it was absolutely ridiculous. Basically, the person who was talking with Tim Miller was, there we go, talking about how, do you think fans were waiting for the fact or to attack Terminator Dark Fate because they didn't know what they wanted until they got it? And it's like, oh, seriously? You guys are going to pull the God complex on us? Fuck you. Yes, folks, I am going to swear a little bit in this because I do not like anybody holding a God complex, especially twerps like Taika Waititi, who actually did say that in a thing about Thor, Love and Thunder. I'll ruin your franchise in a heartbeat, bitches, or whatever, and basically said, people don't know what they want until we give it to them. I'm sorry. I know exactly what I want in life. And your entertainment or your perceived version of how you entertain people is not what I want. Now, let's see here. Back to the thing. Masters then posits the idea that fans are lying in wait to pounce on directors and creatives because they know what they don't want. It's like, yeah, unfortunately, I think that it's a small minority, but it's a very vocal minority, and they make a lot of noise, and it's hard, you know? I don't dwell online on the negativity, but it's human nature to read a little bit. I mean, seriously, dude, here's the thing. People know what they want. People know that they don't want to be preached at. When you go to the theaters, what's the one thing that people want the most at the theater? They want to forget about the lives going on outside of the world, or they want to forget about all the crap that they see on the news. They don't want to be reminded of all the crap. So yeah, they are the thing that angered me about the celebrities is when they demanded open borders yet live in gated communities. Exactly, another exact good truth bomb right here by Soul Assassin, folks. And Happy Dinosaur, James Cameron, shut up about Terminator 3. It doesn't exist anymore, damn it. I paid good money to make it not exist. Well, dude, you paid good money to make sure that it's no longer called Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. It's only called Terminator Rise of the Machines. And escapism, exactly, Soul Assassin. Hold on one moment. I keep on getting a couple messages, which they're from a very special person. So, But yeah, folks, Tim Miller and his complete BS, where it's everybody else's fault but his, is absolutely ridiculous. Hold on one second, folks. I'm going to have to mute this for a second, so just give me one couple minutes. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, folks. I just had a small thing that I had to take care of. Non-PC comedy explosion, or non-PC comedy explosions, huge monsters, brave heroes, and sexy ladies in movies I watch. Yeah. Oh, speaking of other current events, a friend of mine who actually I don't get along with all the time, but we throw things back and forth to each other. He's also a subscriber on my channel. He just told me about a sequel to the movie Braveheart called Robert the Bruce. Now, I just watched the trailer for it, and I gotta say, it looks pretty good. And they even brought back the same actor who played Robert the Bruce in Braveheart, Angus McFadden. And I'm like, holy crap, man, they're really going for it. And it's a continuation of how Scotland was fighting for its sorry folks, I keep on getting distracted a little bit. ADHD, you know. How Scotland was fighting for its independence. And how they continued to fight against the tyranny that was England. I mean, believe me, it did help that Edward Longshanks had died, but his son was also a tyrant as well. I mean, England did not take kindly to Scotland's rebellion back then. I mean, I don't know too much about it, but I do know a little bit about it, not just from the movies, of course, but from a little bit of research that I had done. Now, one of the favorite characters from Braveheart was Stephen, the Irishman. Braveheart 3 European Union. Oh my gosh, that is awesome. But yeah, folks, if you actually want to check out the trailer, look up, or it's on YouTube, look it up. It's called Robert the Bruce. But yeah, Stephen, man, the Irishman Stephen. And he's like, always talking to God. Yes, Father. Looking up and going, yes, Father. And man, the Lord tells me he might be able to get me out of this mess, but he's pretty sure you're fucked. Oh gosh, man, it was that character was so good. Insane Irish, pulls a knife, good enough to get a blade past your guards, old man. Oh gosh, it's just great. But yeah, those were just a couple of the things that's going on in current events. And I've also kind of gotten, yep, my island, Soul Assassin. Indeed, man. Oh, come on. There we go. Happy Dinosaur. Oh my gosh, dude. Leave it up to Happy to always put a smile on anybody's face. But yeah, so a little thing happened in my hometown. Apparently, I did voice some of my displeasure for the Me Too movement coming for or being involved in the making of Mulan. And I posted a rather vehement post on Facebook about it. And unfortunately, when it comes to small businesses and stuff that you're associated with, like theaters, it can be very dangerous and hurting and possibly even potentially hurting business. So when I said that I didn't want to give Mulan a chance because of the involvement of the Me Too movement, I unknowingly put my hometown theater's business at risk. So I completely retracted and gotten rid of the post because I realized that it did have potential to hurt my friend's business. I'm friends with the lady who owns the theater in my hometown, and I never want to put a friend of mine's business in jeopardy because of something I said. Now, because there is a chance that Disney is going to see some of my content, and I do not want to jeopardize any of that. I do not want to jeopardize their business and stuff. So, unfortunately, I am no longer able to have any sort of, well, I'm not going to actually explain that, because if I do, it has the potential to possibly create more harm than good. But yeah, so there's that. I mean, I will always go to the theaters to review movies. However, I will have to start paying on certain movies that I wish I didn't have to pay. I mean, I always do pay for my movies, tickets and whatnot. I just had a gift certificate method that helped when it came to Disney movies, but unfortunately that will no longer go through. Anywho, hold on one second. I got another call coming in. Okay, I am back with that. So now that the normal or the current events are done, I am going to open it up for an open forum. If you guys want or ask me any questions and whatnot, how you doing, Keely? If you guys want to ask me any questions of what's going on, what are my thoughts, I will actually touch on one thing. A person did ask me a question in one of my videos comment sections about the whole Gal Gadot chumming up to chumming up to Brie Larson thing, and I will touch on that after I highlight this. I'm doing good, Keely. Seeing Sylvester Stallone as a Terminator would be awesome. Well, if you pay attention to a movie called Last Action Hero, you'll actually see a Terminator Sylvester Stallone. But yeah, somebody put on Twitter earlier that people who don't like Brie or who love Gal Gadot but don't like Brie Larson because of this or that reason are kind of hypocrites, because Gal Gadot is hanging around with trash like Brie Larson. So you guys really shouldn't like Gal Gadot because she's hanging around with Brie Larson. And I'm thinking to myself, really, dude? First off, that's not my business. Gal Gadot is an adult. She is able to hang around with whoever she wants. I hope that Brie Larson can learn a thing or two from Gal Gadot. Indeed, Keely. I hope she does too. But you know what? The thing is, if she doesn't, she doesn't. And yes, Soul Assassin, indeed. Gal Gadot is indeed a very attractive and wonderful woman. As Lethal Lightning says about Gal Gadot, praise the goddess. Speaking of which, we are going to have Lethal Lightning coming on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This upcoming Friday night, it will be Saturday morning, or rather Saturday noontime for him, where we are going to be doing the live chat discussion of John Wick versus The Accountant. I hope you all will be tuning into that and whatnot. And hopefully my damn internet won't cut out on me. So yes, tune in 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that, and you will hear a pretty good take. Now, there's also 3 more spots open for a full panel, because I do want this to be a full panel. So if you have seen the movie The Accountant and you have seen the 3 John Wick movies, by all means, if you wish to discuss these movies of who would win in a fight between John Wick and The Accountant, feel free to message me on Facebook or Messenger or even Twitter DMs or even in this chat, and I will see about getting you onto the panel and whatnot. I already have the stream created, so you can set your reminders and whatnot. So yes, Moira Kitty is also going to be a part of this, or of that live stream, and she will, or because she expressed interest. It's actually a very good question of who would win between John Wick or the autistic accountant, you know? In case you haven't subbed to Lethal, yes, drop, yep, Lethal Lightning, great channel, guys. He does DC Comics, he does Star Wars EU. They do the EU book club. They just got done doing the Bane trilogy. They're going to be doing Darth Plagueis next, and I'm going to be reading up on, or rereading Darth Plagueis, because it's one of my favorite EU books, and I'm definitely going to be paying attention for that one when they do that one. Maybe, just maybe, I would like to be on that stream to discuss it, because that would be an amazing thing. But yes, tune in this Friday night at 9 p.m. to the channel so we can discuss the autistic accountant versus the jaded John Wick. Who would win between the two? Because don't count out the accountant just because it's John Wick, folks. Because the accountant is also a very skilled person. He does body headshots just like John Wick, and he's also very skilled hand to hand. Accountant versus John Wick, winner is the audience. Oh, you are definitely correct there, sir. Happy Dinosaur dropping the major truth bomb right there. We win because it would be a good fight. The thing is, you're absolutely right, both of you. That would be a fight for the ages. Now, I'm not going to get into too much speculation of it because I want to save that for the stream. But yeah, send it out, or send out the news of the live stream. If you guys actually want or know anybody who has seen both John Wick trilogy and The Accountant, by all means, I would love to have a full panel for that live stream. I already got Moira and Lethal. I would love to have a full panel. Doesn't have to be big channels or whatnot. I'll have anybody on here. But the requirement is you have had to have seen all 4 movies, the John Wick trilogy plus The Accountant. That is the only requirement for being on the panel, because I want to discuss it in depth. We are going to be doing details of John Wick's fighting styles and his past. We're going to be talking spoilers of these movies. So yes, there's going to be spoiler discussion. Now, these movies have been out for a while. I mean, John Wick, the first 3 movies, I think John Wick first was 2014 to 2019, and The Accountant was 2016. So yeah, these movies have been out. So I hope you guys do get a chance to see them. If not, please do what you can to see them. They're all 4 great movies. John Wick trilogy is one of the better freaking movies or trilogies I've seen in a long time. Now, other than that, I've been steadily only doing like 1 or 2 videos a day. Sometimes it's 1 a day, and I'm sorry for that, but things have been hectic in town, in my hometown, and the job that I have taking care of mentally handicapped people. So it does kind of put a drain on my time and whatnot. So I do want to assure you guys, I am going to get content out there. And I am going to try to get it out there so you guys can enjoy more content up from my channel. I will still do live streams and whatnot. If I cannot, or if Mondays, Wednesdays, those are most likely going to be the best times for me to do live streams. And yeah, I'll still do random ones for current events. Better trilogy than Disney Star Wars. You are absolutely right, Soul Assassin. The battle will end with them almost killing each other and murdering a generic crime lord played by an A-list actor. Yeah, dude, indeed. And any trilogy is better than the Disney trilogy, man. I mean, hell, even the Twilight movies were better than Disney Star Wars. And yes, folks, before, or you heard me correct, I said the Twilight movies are better than Disney Star Wars. Take your time with the content, man. Don't worry about hitting a quota. Thank you, Soul Assassin. Also, folks, I did put in a video earlier, I think it was 3 videos ago, that I have noticed an inconsistency with some of my videos. I am not blaming anyone, so I want to make that clear. I am not blaming anyone, but I do want to point out that people who have said that they are supporting my channel wholeheartedly, and no, it's none of the people in this chat, because they all say that they watch my videos and whatnot, but I am seeing a very inconsistent ratio of views to likes. Now, I know a video can be viewed multiple times, but when a video is getting like 2 or 3 likes when I'm getting 40 views, that is, well, either people are watching or 3 people are watching the video multiple times, or I'm just not getting or they're watching it and not liking it. If you truly want to support this channel, please drop a like on the videos you watch. I mean, even if you don't technically like the videos, it would still help get my channel's content out there. So please, folks, smash that like button and share the content. It helps me more than you know, and I appreciate it all the more and way more than you know. I am a small channel. I can only do this stuff with a phone and a Kindle. I'm not rich, and I don't have all the fancy equipment that bigger channels like Geeks and Gamers, Jeremy, and Drunk 3PO, and Odin, and all of them. I don't have all the fancy equipment. So I can only do this stuff with my phone and a Kindle. That's all I do, or that's all I have to do this. And until I get more money to get the equipment and whatnot, and then hopefully even better internet, I will then be able to do better videos, quality, cutting, and whatnot. Shit, homeboy, I didn't get notified of your new videos. Yes, if the notifications are not working, folks, the way, or the best way I know of to do it, because it worked recently. I mean, I wasn't getting content notifications from Geeks and Gamers, So I unsubbed, resubbed, and I made sure my Kindle was in desktop mode because that way I can choose to be notified of all things. And then I turned on the notifications. So yes, if you have to, unsub, resub, and whatnot. That, and then turn notifications on to all, but make sure you are using a desktop or PC or something to that effect in order to get all the notifications. I set it all instead of personalized. Awesome. Thank you, Happy. Now, believe me, folks, yes, I am more than aware that some of my views on some things are extreme. And hindsight is 2020. You can always look at things in retrospect and then have possibly a change in perspective. Now, one of those things is I was overly harsh on the Birds of Prey movie. Now, even in my review, I say that the woke factor is low, because it is, but still, it was a movie that did preach. It was a movie that made no sense. It was a heavily flawed movie, but I do realize in hindsight that I could have been less extreme. And this is feedback that is coming to me from people that I am close to and trust. My brother being one of them. He told me, he's like, some people are seeing you as extreme, man, and that's what's turning them off away from your channel. And yes, I have lost subs because of my more extreme videos. And so I will be more aware and more, aware, I guess, of how I present myself in my videos. Now, if you guys want rants, I can do rants, and I will do rants. How you do, Kamen Rider? I know how you feel. I don't have any of all those things that big YouTubers have to make better videos, but everybody's living equipment is different. Arrangement or situation. Yes, you are absolutely right, Kamen Rider. I mean, thing is, folks, not everybody who does all this stuff are rich. And hell, I don't even think Odin's really rich. He's just a normal person. Me, sadly, I am on welfare because New York State is a really shitty state and I really can't afford to get out of it. Sadly, I am kind of dependent. But I still do the best with what I got. And what I got is what I use. But I am saving up money as best as I can in order to get better equipment. And guess what? When I do get the better equipment, I will use it. Now, since we are on an open forum, does anybody have any questions about any current things? Oh, going back to the Brie Larson and Gal Gadot thing, because I did kind of get sidetracked on that. Yes, this person said, or basically saying that we're hypocritical for liking Gal Gadot because she likes Brie Larson and whatnot. And I even did do the whole Cayman. Yeah. But the whole Gal Gadot thing and Brie Larson thing, like I said, I did a retweet. I may not be fond of Brie Larson, but it is not my business of who Gal Gadot chooses to interact with. It is not my decision. It is not up to me. Gal Gadot is her own person. And yes, I even tagged Brie Larson and Gal Gadot in my tweets. One of the things you will notice about me, folks, if you follow me on Twitter, I have no problem tagging people I do not endorse or I am not overly fond of, because I do not believe in talking behind their backs. I believe in approaching them right up like an adult and like a mature person in their face, not aggressively in their face, but respectfully. I mean, yes, even my political views, I have tapped politicians, tagged them and whatnot. Not tapped them. God, no, I wouldn't want to tap Bernie. But Bernie Sanders, recently, a lot of sick stuff has come out about him. And this is the only thing. I am going to get in a little bit of politics stuff, because a little bit of politics stuff. Now, if you guys have a different political opinion than me, that is fine. I have no problem. You guys can vote for whoever the heck you want. But when it comes to me, I'm not voting for somebody like Bernie Sanders, especially when there are people who, hold on, I bet Brie Larson can be a nice person if she put aside the whole woke views. The thing is, Soul Assassin, I have a couple sources here that I know on YouTube, a couple of YouTubers I know, who have the inside track on Hollywood. Now, yes, he did praise Castro, and he is a douchebag for it. But according to these YouTubers who have actually met her, they don't get the overly SJW vibes off of her. But what they kind of, after talking with her and whatnot, they kind of have an understanding that she might be having to follow a certain directive and whatnot. I don't think that she is overtly in the SJW camp. It's just that she is saying some stuff that is controversial, yes, but I do not think that she might be, or I think she's towing a line, basically. But touching back onto the whole Bernie Sanders thing, yes, the dude praised Castro, and even during the Democratic debate, when he started praising Castro during the debate, people started booing him. He's like, "Really? Really? I'll tell you what we're gonna do." And it's like, oh my gosh, man, just shut up, stop talking. This is the point where you should own your freaking idiocy. But also, this dude, I looked this up. He did write essays back in the 70s. He got kicked out of a hippie commune for being too useless. And while in this commune, he wrote a few essays. And these op-ed essays, one of them stated that kids should run around grabbing each other's genitals in order to dissuade the porn or the pornographic community. You heard me right, folks. This is actually something that Bernie Sanders wrote, that kids should run around grabbing each other's genitals in order to dissuade the porn community from continuing their business. He also wrote that one that is a little bit more known, that women, while making love to their husbands, fantasize about being raped by 3 men simultaneously. I'm sorry, folks. Love or hate Trump, whatever side of the aisle you fall on, if you went after Trump, and this is not me talking as a Trump supporter, this is me talking as an objective person discussing this. If people go after Trump for the whole grab him by the pussy thing, that was years ago, then they should hold the same disdain for somebody who wrote that all wives fantasize about being raped by 3 men simultaneously while making love to their husbands. And the thing is, folks, I've actually tagged Bernie Sanders on this. I'm like, does that include your wife too, Bernie? Because if you really want to go there, man, that's why I've actually said one time on a tweet, they should put people like me on these or at these debates to be a moderator, because I'm not afraid to ask the hard questions. When Elizabeth Warren went after Bloomberg, claiming that he told a woman to kill the child so she could come back to work or whatnot, it's like, I'm sorry, Miss Warren, but you do not have a moral or you don't have a moral leg to stand on. You're for abortion up to 9 months. I only support Trump because he's the alternative is politically suicidal. Or hey man, if that's your choice. Me, I voted, or back in 2016, I didn't want to vote for either one of them. But there was one thing that showed me who was, don't bite my head off for what I'm about to say, folks, but who was more mature during that final debate between Clinton and Trump? Trump was the most mature, because the last question that was asked was, do you have anything positive to say about your political opponent? And believe it or not, Trump had something positive to say about Hillary. Hillary couldn't say anything positive about Trump. It's like, yeah, dude's a douchebag, but you could still come up with something positive. And she's like, he has good kids. That's all. It's like, well, I know who I'm voting for, and it's not her. Plus, I've also met Hillary Clinton personally, folks, and let me tell you, that woman gives off all the wrong vibes. And I honestly would never, or if I was to ever vote Democrat in any election, let's just say that I would vote for somebody. I would possibly vote for Tulsi Gabbard, because she, out of all of the Democrats, came across as the most level-headed. I mean, yes, she does have some crazy policies and stuff, but when it comes to foreign policy and whatnot, she actually did have some decent ideas. And she's also military served. She had a campaign that was honorable for the most part. She also went after people for the bullshit that they said. She wasn't afraid to throw down. So if I ever did have to vote Democrat, I would have voted for Gabbard. But thankfully, thing is, I still don't know who I'm going to vote for in this election. Isn't Gabbard suing Clinton? Yes, she is currently suing Hillary Clinton for the whole Russian asset claim that Hillary made. She's suing her for defamation. Hold on, folks. I am still chatting with this very special person. But yeah, she is suing Clinton for $50 million, I believe. And because, yes, it is a very damaging thing. She can actually sue her for defamation because what she said, and people will believe it, if it does damage her reputation in any shape, way, or form. Yeah. Did you like Bush and Obama? Thing is, back then I was younger. I mean, when I was in the 20s and old enough to vote during the Bush or during the Obama era, I was not old enough to vote during Bush. I mean, yes, I was technically old enough to vote for Bush back then. I was a Democrat, believe it or not. For the longest time, I was a Democrat, even though most of my family was Republican. And yes, I will openly admit I voted for Obama back in 2008. But then I paid attention to a lot of the stuff that he did and a lot of the stuff that he said and his whole Obamacare thing. And I realized I had made a monumental mistake. But then 2012 was coming up, and it's like, who am I going to vote for? I didn't like Romney, and I didn't like Obama, so I did a write-in vote. And guess what? My vote, my write-in vote, my write-in ballot, this is no joke, folks. I put Walter Dunham from Jeff Dunham's Walter, the puppet, and Miss Piggy, because I believe that a fucking puppet and a Muppet would have made better, or could have run this country better than either Romney or Obama. So yeah. And people have often said, well, Trump's trying to cut Social Security and this and that. It's like, he's trying to cut Social Security for the people that don't belong in this country that are mooching off of it. He's not going to cut it for people who actually need it. But yeah, folks, I mean, it's just ridiculous. And we are coming up on the hour, so I am going to cut this in 3.5 minutes. But yes, I talked a little bit more about politics than I wanted to. But the thing is, folks, I do have political views, and sometimes I will share them. And you know what? If you disagree with me, I have no problem with you. I am going to agree to disagree with you. Yes, politics can indeed be a headache, Soul Assassin, but they are also an undeniable reality of our time. And sadly, politics has become way more personal and polarized ever since 2016. I mean, Trump, he is a force to be reckoned with. And as Ben Shapiro says, he's a hammer. Sometimes he hits a nail, sometimes he hits a baby. When he hits the nail, it's pretty good. When he hits the baby, not so well. I mean, believe it, yes, I support Trump. But the thing is, I also do wish that he would get off Twitter. The idiot is not helping himself when he is kind of making AG Barr's job harder. I mean, there are a lot of, or even frickin' Cocaine Mitch has said he should take the Attorney General's advice and get off of Twitter every now and then. And I honestly agree. He should get off Twitter. As much as I support the president, he should get the hell off Twitter. I mean, troll but sometimes he also trolls masterfully as well. But yeah, folks. Anyway, we got about a minute and a half, so I am going to start wrapping it up. I do want to thank everybody who came. Soul Assassin, Kamen Rider, Happy Dino. Who else did we have? I know we had Rosetta, Craig, Keeley. Thank you guys all for showing up. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. And y'all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know down in the comments below what you all think of all the things that I have discussed today. And feel free to tune in this upcoming Friday, where me, Moira, Lethal Lightning, and hopefully 3 others are going to be discussing John Wick versus Ben Affleck's The Accountant. And we're going to be discussing this all in major detail, so definitely tune in 9 p.m. Friday night. And did I like the second Bush, George W. Bush? There was a couple things I liked about him, but like I said, I was a kid back then, so I didn't pay too much attention to it. I did like his position on going after terrorists, though. Anyway, folks, that is all. Y'all have a wonderful night, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.